All right, guys, welcome back. Been a long weekend for me, but here I am shooting another video. I promise you, I'm not going to miss another one. I don't care if I'm working, if I'm sleeping, if I'm dying, if a home intruder breaks in, breaks all my bones, puts me in the closet, blindfolded with something over my mouth, with my hands behind my back. It will not matter. I will find a way. I'll figure it out. There will be a miracle that will allow me to get back in front of my computer, in front of this camera, telling you guys what my top indicators are, which is what I'm going to be talking about tonight. It's something that a lot of people have asked me to do. It's something that I'm so accustomed to and I'm so used to at this point that I don't realize that the people that are new to the market, they look at a chart and they see these candles or they see these lines and they're like, what is going on? The best advice that I can give to you probably is just find 3 indicators that work for you. I think that's a good sweet spot. 1 might not be enough. 10 is going to be too much. You want to master 3. It doesn't need to be super complicated. A lot of times these people put up these charts online that are just like so sophisticated. It's like, yeah, I mean, you can do the most, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be a more effective trader. I think that you need to master 3. You need to be able to see patterns. It's just like seeing the matrix. You see how these things move. You stare at them for long enough. If it takes you 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. You start to get familiar with those 3 indicators and the way that stocks move in different environments. I did want to say that right now we should be bunting or looking for singles at the most. There are no grand slams to be had. We were playing with a cork bat in 2020, and right now we're playing with a goddamn stick. You can't hit a home run or you can't hit a grand slam with a stick. You need a bat. And right now we're not equipped with that. So you need to just get used to taking your 5%, your 10%. That's just the environment that we're in, and you need to adapt to it at all costs. So like the reason why I bring this up is because when you see a certain type of chart and it is a pattern that you're used to moving, it doesn't mean that it's going to move. Technical analysis obviously isn't perfect. If it was, then everybody would win. It's trading as an educated guess, and this helps you make a better guess than if you didn't have it. That's why you need to know certain things about the fundamentals of a stock, especially the world that you live in, whether it be penny stocks or big boards, as well as the technicals that go behind it, so you can see where people are buying and people are selling. So they work. They're not 100% of the time, but they work very well, again, to give you a more educated guess about what's going to happen next. The tighter the chart, meaning the time frame, whether it be 15 minutes, that's more for the next 15 minutes. That's giving you an idea of, is it going to go up 2 ticks or down 2 ticks? Whereas if you go for a monthly chart, it might give you something more of a long hold, like where you'd be like, okay, well, the monthly looks really good on this. Maybe I will want to hold this. It's a broader view, so to speak. So I'm just going to jump into it real quick. I'm just going to go over my settings. If you want to follow along with me going over the charts, it can be really easy. All you need to do is plug in these settings. And if it's something that works for you, great. If there's some other guy that has another system that works for you, do it. Don't I'm not sitting here telling you to do exactly as I do. I want to teach you guys how to create your own strategies and your own discipline. You never take tips. You don't sit here and rely on somebody to walk you through the market and get you wins. You have to equip yourself with the armor that's going to take you into battle, because it is a battle. The market is a battle between the big fish and the small fish, and you're a small fish, so you got to know how to swim, if that makes sense. So let's hop into my settings. Let me do this. Am I a technical genius today? Sometimes I blow myself away. Let me make myself smaller. See, learning every day, getting used to it. I have came pretty far on my editing. If you would have seen what I was dealing with when I first started 6 months ago, I didn't know what the hell was going on. But just like with editing, just like with anything else in life, it's the same with trading. You put the effort in, you stay consistent, you do it day in, day out, you stare at this crap like it's your life depended on it. Eventually you'll get good at it. The problem is people don't put in the work. They just take tips online. They never get better. They never advance. And 6 years later, they're still listening to the same people holding bags. Okay, you got to learn it for yourself, and you got to take your own path. But all right, so I use Bollinger Bands, I use RSI, and I use MACD. I think that these are the most simple. You don't need to worry about too much. It's pretty straightforward. I know it might look like a different language to you, but things tend to run on patterns. So that's what these indicators try and outline for you in a physical form. Now, this is LVGI, okay? This is tremendously oversold because it's actually below the bottom Bollinger Band. So it's getting oversold. There is a reason for it, but either way, that's where you have to do the DD into the fundamentals of the stock to see, okay, they have shares dilutable at 5, it's at 4. They're going to need to get the price back above 5 to be able to dilute at break even. So they're going to actually want to get it higher to make money, even though either way. So you buy things like this. That's why buying the dip can be a good thing, especially when it's this oversold so quickly, and you're just looking for a pop back to this middle band. That right now is 100% because the stock is trading so low and it's been so broken down so quickly. So when you see an exhaustive move like that, what you're hoping for in essence is to get back to this middle band, whether it be the next day, 2 days away, 3 days away, or 2 weeks away. If you're buying here, there's a good chance, just like it's done before in the past, this one even went above it, but it tends to come back to this line, Now you're way underneath it, so you could get back to that middle Bollinger Band, make 100%, and that's a huge ROI. It's risky in trips, but either way, that's how you would read a Bollinger Band. Now my settings of that are time frame chart. Now, if you're using TradingView, that's the only way that you're going to even need to look at this, but chart, length 20, source, close, sorry. Standard deviation 2, offset 0. That's just what when I plug in this as an indicator, if you just have to go up here to your indicators, you type in whatever you want, and obviously there's a million of them. So that's why, like, don't get too overwhelmed, just use a few. But those are your indicators, and then you just plug it in, and that's what this was already preset to. I'm not trying to get too intricate with it. That's just what it is. So again, that's what we're using for Bollinger Band, and that is the advantage of using that indicator. RSI and MACD are kind of similar. RSI is your relative strength index. So it's saying if it's oversold, then the relative strength index is gonna be weak. So you're gonna have, these bands coming down, especially your fast, all the way back down to this bottom band. There's 2 bands here. There's a middle line at 50. There's a top band at, where's it have it here? 80. And then in the bottom band is like 30. So when you're 30 or below, you're wildly oversold. You're at 50 and the RSI is turning up. So the lines are turning up. That is bullish because it's actually getting into the hot zone. So it's heating up. If you're up at the top line, you're too hot. You need a cool off. I've seen things run through that for days on end. But again, that's not the type of economy to be going for 100 RSI. That's when it's smoking. 80 is already hot enough. You sell at 80. You might buy on the 50 break of the RSI. But remember, you're not just buying just on your RSI. You're using all these indicators in conjunction with your fundamentals and with everything that you see. I mean, it's not just using one specific indicator. Everything has to work in symbiosis, I guess the word would be. So that's your RSI. My technicals on that are... And for example, like JAGX, the RSI is at 10 and it's still tanking. So, you don't, every indicator isn't dead on no matter what. I mean, I can't believe that stock. Oh, so you're not going to want to work? Great. Hold on. So when you were born in a computer lab and your first words were typed, you know how to fix things, whether it be refreshing the page, whether it be going into the settings and actually doing some work. For me, it's usually as simple as either restarting the computer or refreshing the page. Remember to keep it simple, just like you keep your technicals simple. Sometimes computers are simple. Maybe they're not at your IQ, so you need to just be soft with them, you know, just understand that they might be a little bit slow and they just need a little boost. But your RSI time frame is 14 on the RSI length, your source close, MA type, SMA, MA length, 14, Bollinger Band standard deviation, BB, which I don't actually know what that means, but again, you don't really need to know what it means. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can. There's no bad thing about having more knowledge, but it's not like when you're making a trade, you're like, what's my my standard deviation and my RSI? Like, people just use it differently for whatever. But again, I'm going with the standard settings, the default settings. I don't need to I don't need to be a genius over here. It's not rocket science. It doesn't need to be, even though people think it is. So yeah, so that's my RSI settings. Just pause it, go back, and get through that. And again, if you want to set it up like this, feel free, because then if you're a subscriber and you're going over these, you can easily see what I'm seeing, or you can get used to seeing what I'm seeing. Your MACD, like on this one, yes, it's oversold, but it's not like it's been oversold for quite some time. This has been on a bad trend. I just actually picked some of this up today at 4, hoping for that pop back to the middle band because of the size of even if I get back to 6, that's still 50% from here, could happen tomorrow. But either way, you know, the MACD is, again, it goes off of lines converging and turning up and turning down. If your MACD is down here, as you can see, when the price was kind of going up, the MACD was going up. When it was going down, it's going down. Now, when you see these lines crossing and diverging and at a harsh rate, you're going to see that it's going to be a big green day. It's going to show bullishness. So when the MACD turns from these red candles to these green candles here, that just means that the price is moving in the right direction. If that's working in line with your RSI, the middle Bollinger Band has been broken and closed above with tremendous strength and very good volume. The news is expected in a certain amount of time, and the rumor has been told, and you probably have 4 days to be able to enter and exit unless you're day trading. Then that's why you look at all these things in harmony. I mean, they have to be in harmony. So the MACD is just a very simple indicator. When it's red and it's coming down like this, let's pull up another one. Let's do bad example. Better example. So you can see that the MACD down here, I mean, this thing has come down harsh. So your MACD is down harsh. Not like SEII, where it was more of or a LVGI, where it was more of just like a slow bleed. This was a very much quicker bleed. So your technicals have turned down. Now, if you look up here, this blue line fell under this orange line, and they both started to turn down, just like you did on your RSI. They both started to turn down. Okay, you closed below the middle band, so you're turning down. All those things worked in essence, and if you would have sold there, it obviously came down a lot further. You would have been able to buy back and actually be able to save yourself from a bag, take your 10% loss, buy back in here, and make all your money back real quick. In fact, make more. So that's where technical indicators can come in, and this is a more vivid visual of how it's dropping below and it's causing these very deep peaks, whereas here it's causing higher green peaks because the price is rising more violently. So you get the picture. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I pretty much answer every comment that I get. So your MACD is fast length 12, slow length 26, source close, signal smoothing 9, original or oscillator MA type EMA, signal line MA type EMA. And your MACD line is blue, your signal line is orange. So again, if you go on TradingView and you just pop these in, this is the default setting. So if you want to follow along, there you go. So that's basically all you really need to know about indicators. You can do all different types of things. I tend to use candles, or I only use candles pretty much. You can use lines, you can use those weird things. I don't even know what they're called. I forget. But either way, there's all different types to ways to look at a chart, find out what works for you, and then go all at it. But just don't keep switching it up, because you're going to get confused and it's going to cause issues in the future. You just want to get used to one thing. So let's dive right into the charts. So yeah, so I recorded this last night. I went over 40 different stocks. Took me an hour just to say what I was saying. Then I had to upload it or edit it, and of course the upload wouldn't work. The computer was just acting up, as it is right now. Please work from now on. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, Lord, for blessing me with such a nice device that I can do my work on. Doesn't frustrate me ever. I'm never frustrated. I don't care. The fact that I spent 2-3 hours on a video last night that I couldn't even post. And that was just the beginning part of it. No problem. It's not a big deal to me. I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy doing work with no fruition. I like going to work and not getting paid. I like being a slave, in essence. I like doing manual labor for no cost or no energy. The energy that I put out, I don't want any back. Okay? That's pretty much my goals in life, is to work as hard as I can and get nothing out of it. But yeah, so hopefully this time it works, not for my personal excitement, but so that you guys can learn a thing or two about the charting that we're looking at here. But we'll have to see how that's going to go. I don't expect anything to go well. But JAGX is the first thing we're going to start with. Why? Because it's been an absolute beat down for the past, I don't even know how long. This is like literally like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I probably right around here, I was like, I'll never buy this again. Put it on your never buy again list. It's the shittiest stock to ever exist. Don't ever touch this, even with a 1,000-foot pole. Don't even look at it. Don't even smell it. Don't even act like you know what it is. Throw it away and never look back. Put it at the bottom of the ocean with rocks on the bottom of its feet and let it swim with the fishes. That's what I said literally 2 days ago. Bought heavy 80s today. Looks like it's turning around. Obviously, this thing is, it engulfed three candles from the 3 days previous. Shows extreme bullishness on the RSI that was all the way down at 9. Now it's at 20. Your MACD's turning up. Your volume was heavy as hell. I think you get a very strong volume day tomorrow. I think you see 147 or this middle band at first thing in the morning. I like this. I like this for a morning move. I really, really do. I really, really do. I promise that to you. I promise that to you. Sorry. Won't do that again. Just as I'll never buy JAGX again, and then I'll do it within 15 minutes. DVLP, tough OTC right now. It's rocky. People are diluting, and this company is one of them. I hate to say it. I said it on last night's video for yesterday, but unfortunately, it wouldn't upload, so now we're in the future, and I was saying last night, I was like, look, they're just diluting. I dumped out break even at 4, so it was one of my calls of the week. I lost it, but I still have a couple of days. If you want to hold it, I could still call it a win. That's up to you. But for me, and it is still at this middle band, it's sitting there. It's not to say that the rest of the week can't go really well. I just want to preserve my capital at all costs. I saw them diluting on the ask. It was bad. I mean, it was, you could see plenty of volume going into the ask, wasn't moving it one bit, even though it only showed 10K, which is dilution. It would have ran without that, but again, I didn't think they had much dilution on the books, but clearly they do. Your technicals are turning down. It's scary right now. You got to keep in this direction. If you have one more day of rockiness, you might be in trouble. Or, they might release news soon. They might drop news on Thursday. This could be a retail shake. But again, the call is for the end of the week. That's up to you. I just need to preserve my capital at all costs. I mean, really, realistically, everybody does. But I felt like 4 wasn't the best entry point, and I can always come back to it. RIOT was another one of my top calls. This one did win. You can always take gains wherever you want them. I think 10%, which is pretty much from where I called it. I called it after this day, so you're able to get in anywhere in this range. A lot of the day was around 8, so, you know, that's where it closed, was 8. So it's, you know, 8 to 9 that's a bunt. That's a single. That's what we look for. You play small ball until you win the game. You don't need to hit a home run every time. And like I said, this market is like having a stick and not a bat. It's not the same idea. You're not going to be looking. You might see home runs all the time all over the place and think, oh, why don't I get them? Why don't I get them? Because those people are getting lucky. It's like the chances of hitting that daily are almost minuscule to none. They're always on the board saying, oh, look, I saw some guy today. He literally had been talking about JAGX for like 15 straight days, literally, like maybe more, maybe 17 straight days. So it was down like 60%, 70% from his original call. And just every day he'd be on the boards. He'd be like, this is the bottom. This is the bottom. This is the bottom. And then today, I guess he said it in the morning as well, just like he did every day. It was a ritual. It was tradition. And it went 43% green from that time that he posted that. And he's like, see, look, hopefully you follow. I got all the calls. I'm like, dog, you've been talking about this stock for 23 straight days, riding it all the way down 60%. Now you want to act like you called bottom? Like nobody was watching? Like I haven't been hawking this for a month and I called him out on it. Of course, it's, oh, no, I did this, I did that. Oh, no, you have to understand the reason why I call those people out isn't because I'm trying to be combative. It's because I wanted people to be reading it and being like, yeah, like, is this guy even telling the truth? No, he's not. He's not. So that's why you don't take tips. You never know who's lying and who's not. So just stay away from that. That's a good example. RIOT, though, green from my call. I think it's going to continue to go higher. Take a gain whenever you want. You should be up about 10% from where my call was. 10% is a single. I have no problem taking 10% these days. Gold. See, now this is, they're basically on a weekly chart, this looks a lot better. Let me see. I mean, it's kind of the same idea. You do have this gap down to 173. Realistically, the thing with gold, honestly, is they try and hold it down. They don't want gold to go up. There's many reasons for that. I could sit here and talk your ear off about it, but I'd tell you to do your own research because I can't spend too much time on each one of these stocks. But either way, gold is the best long-term investment you can have right now, in my opinion, because since the 80s when it was like $4,000, now it's less than half the price, but the value of it is way more. It should be way higher than this, 5 to 10x. I'm not even going to lie. If you have a lot of liquidity, you get in here, you hold it because the economy is going down. You're betting against the economy, and if you can do that with anything, it would be a commodity like gold. That is the most beautiful thing about it, is you're literally betting against the economy, and the economy is trash. It's almost like, now they're going to try to do everything to save it, but even though they're actually making it worse. But, you know, we'll see what happens in the future. All I know is gold is safe, even though that it's up significantly in the past couple of days. I still think that this is going to flirt with this previous resistance. It's pulling back to there now. Let's see how it reacts. Let's see if it does pull back. Let's see if it does pop above it again. Maybe you get another bullish move. It depends on what happens on Wednesday with the is it Wednesday? Is it tomorrow? Yeah, with Powell. So we'll see if he hikes or eases. I think he's actually going to ease, because I think he's going to have to deal with the problems with the banks, and they're going to take their eyes off inflation. I don't know if that's going to be super bearish. I don't know how the market's going to react. I would imagine that it should be, but you never know. Every time I think one thing's going to happen, and then the exact opposite happens. LVGI. So I bought this one yesterday at 4 because it was just tremendously oversold. Your technicals were way down. And I mean, if you actually watch the beginning of my video, you'll see that this green candle wasn't there. But I did buy 4s and I did sell 5s just because, again, one of those ticks That's a good chunk of money. Okay, that's over 20%. So I'm like, I'm completely fine with that, especially in nowadays market. And I did have a heavy amount, so it was very risky. I did have like 5 million or 6 million. So that's a great gain. That's $600, whatever. It wasn't like the life-changing trade, but still it's an overnight trade, $600. You think about that in the terms of going to actually produce amount of work to make $600. You're going to be there maybe for a little while. It depends on what you make, but that's a good chunk of money for a lot of people. So $600 is fine with me on one trade. So I took that LVGI. I don't know. It could go back to 8. I might have sold it prematurely. Very strong chance that it does. Wasn't a lot on the ask at 6. I like this one to go to 8, possibly in the near future. They do have dilutive shares at 5, so that's why I dumped there, because I just don't trust any type of management right now, but you get the idea. NVOS. Nice pop today. I think this started yesterday after hours, because it did. Or did it? Probably did. I'm not exactly sure, but either way, had a great day today. Coming from the lows at 10, you're all the way up at 14. That's 40%. That's amazing. Gotta love that. I know that I had a few friends that were in that. Very strong day today. I don't know if anything came out or you're still waiting. Make sure to take some off the, especially if you're up for a solid gain, take some off the table before the earnings come out, because you don't know what they're going to be. You might have a good idea though. So depending on how much DD you've done into that side of the fundamentals, then you can decide, make a decision based upon that. But coming from me, somebody that hasn't seen anything about their financials, I would just say take a little bit off the table, because you don't know, you really don't know for sure. But hopefully they're strong. Hopefully you hold some and it runs really high. Everything looks good to me right now. Your technicals aren't overbought. You have strong volume. The market's turning around a little bit, but remember, this could just be a couple days of relief. On Wednesday, things might change, which is tomorrow. So just be weary of these things. Always be focused on when the next Fed talks are, what's going on with the war. You do have to know what's going on around you to be able to gauge this kind of stuff a little bit better. Remember, it's an educated guess. So use technicals, fundamentals, and what's going on in the world. Ruby. This one looks like it's bottoming out down here. I think it's only a matter of time until they push this. You're clearly hitting a flat line down at 2. Your technicals look incredible. Very low RSI, very low MACD, setting up with a little bit of volume, needs more. Once it gets a day of volume, which could come at any time, you're looking at 7 is your middle band. So, your band is coming down though, so who knows when this is going to run. But either way, you get volume, you get some type of news, you're in good shape. LYLT. I can never, there's LTLY, LTLY, no, LYLT. Jesus, this thing threw everyone for a loop-de. What a weird stock this was. So I don't know. I think this was, I don't even know. This chart looks like crap. This looks pretty good. Like when this was hooking right here, I thought it had a chance to push up again. Then they just sent it down 40% the next day. Then they tanked it even further the next day. Then they ran it up all crazy the next day. And then the next day they gapped it down and shut it on everybody's faces again. Sent everyone to the core of the earth to live with the devil and all of his demons. What does that even mean? That's like blasphemy against God. Like that hurts my chest with beyond belief. That literally tanked 62% today. It's had multiple like 50% loss days within a week. Who designed this stock? Who? Like, I don't understand it. The most evil man to ever exist? The biggest crook to ever creep? I don't really understand even what I'm looking at, but either way, holy smokes, people getting their brains ripped out and then reassembled and reapplied multiple times. Incredible. EPAZ. I have nothing to say about it. I don't know. I know it just got delisted, so I don't know, like, I don't know what's going to happen, you know. EPAZ, this thing. Look, I mean, the news came out today. I told you that to sell on this day here. I knew that this was a previous resistance. I said you do have a chance that you do break above this and get to 3 on hype before news. It didn't happen. That's why I said sell on Friday, because it just wasn't getting the strength. It was starting to sell off. Now it's all the way back down at this middle orange band, which is, again, it doesn't mean that, you know, when I'm saying to sell here, I'm not saying that you can never buy back. I was just saying that that would be a good point to sell. And now if you want to buy back, you can buy back on the bottom of this flag, not on the top. Obviously, this thing wants to flag. It could go for a third one. This company is a pumping company. They're always trying to come out with news. They're tweeting nonstop. They aren't diluting extremely heavily. You know, the volume is there to pick up the shares. There's a lot of interest in it, which is helping to stave off any huge drops from dilution, given that it is a thin stock. But your technicals, now this is where we go to technicals. Your MACD is turning down, not in love with that. Your RSI is coming down, fell below the yellow line. I'm not in love with that. The thing that's saving you here is this previous support of 1006, right in that area, and 1005, which is this middle band. If you break below that, you might be in trouble. You're going to have to cool off on your MACD. Your RSI might go into the cold zone below 50, and you might come down to, I don't know, let's say half a penny, which is a big dip from here. Okay, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. This is why it's always best, yeah, maybe take a starter here, but be very willing to take a quick 10% loss if it does fail. Who knows? Maybe it comes down a little bit and then it blasts off. But it's never good to buy, let's say, down at 9.9 and thinking, oh, I got a good price, and then all of a sudden it's down at 5 and you've lost 50%. Okay? And you're in a bag and you need a big day to send it back north. That's why, you know, I go in the boards and I say these things and people get pissed off at me because they didn't do what I said. And it doesn't always mean that I'm right, but I'm just saying, like, if I was right, which I've never been wrong with a drop since I started this page 6 months ago, I'd say I'm probably 20 for 20 at this point. Literally, I swear to God, I haven't lost once. But you can't short penny stocks. Penny stocks are just so easy to read when they're about to get demolished. Harder to read when they're about to go up because there's so many other factors you got to deal with. But yeah, I mean, you always know when these guys are going to dump. Buy the rumor, sell the news, point blank, period. Don't really need to know much more than that. I could sit here for days and talk about those intricacies, but I won't. Box D, just an old crap stock. Like, I don't, this is just ugly, dude. You do have a gap up here at 37. You know, you are like tremendously oversold. You know, I just don't know what happened in this stock. So somebody leave me a comment and let me know what the hell's going on with this puppy, because it looks like it's sick as a dog. I can't even believe, like, it's down this hard, but it is. And is there a reason? Is it an overreaction? Was there a reverse split scare? Is there, God only knows, was the CEO arrested for manslaughter of his youngest child? Was this CEO caught having sex with with private equity's wives in an orgy? Like, did they pull out funding and they pretty much went under and went bankrupt within a day? I just am doing. Can someone let me know, please? Thanks. ALLR. God, I need a new wig. These things are slashing. That's why you gotta be very nimble nowadays. I mean, geez, Louisa, Mama Mendoza. You buy this yesterday at its peak thinking it's going to run, just buying it at the wrong time, getting a little involved with FOMO. And I know that somebody's listening to this that's praying to God that I have a different opinion on it, and they're going to probably turn it off now knowing that I don't. But either way, whoever bought up here, you're already back down. You're already down 50%. That's why these thin stocks that run really quick, you got to take note of history. Boom, came back down immediately. Boom, came back down immediately. Boom, came back down immediately. This company does not like to let the price breathe. It's got to be dilution, whatever the hell it is. It's disgusting and it makes me want to throw up. Does not mean that the price can't continue, but if you got to be willing to have balls of steel if you're chasing this puppy, because if you go red, you might go red heavy, But since it's a thin stock and moves on air and it does tend to go through very volatile swings, you could be gaining the next day. Just like in LYLT, where it tanked 40%, someone was down 60% and ended up selling for 30% gain just a couple of days later. So, you know, these things can go through wild movements. You better be able to deal with them. I have no idea what this is going to do from here. It's not really giving me any type of option of how to read this, other than the fact that it's done this before, and that's not great. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with that one. PLPL. This was one I was pretty bullish on Friday about. I actually never got shares of this. I never was able to pick up fives. I took like a few, but like nothing of worth. And you know, if I had more, I'm just holding what I have. But if I had more, I would have probably sold 6. Remember, 5 to 6, 20% gain, boom, bang, bop. You get out of there, you take it, and if it keeps going, you can always buy into bullishness. You can always pay higher if you know, you think that it's going to keep going, but. Again, singles these days, singles, not triples are 30%. A single 10% gain a day is going to keep the job away, especially if you have a good amount of money in your account. You don't want to see that go, especially right now with the value of money depleting rapidly. You don't want to lose money as well. You're going to be in trouble because the prices of things are going up. You can't afford to lose money. That's why I'm not losing it at any cost. If I do buy something heavy, and especially in a trip stock and it's at 5, I'm selling 6, and I don't care what happens beyond that, because I'm sure as hell I'm not going to have a chance to sell 6 and then have to sell 4 and lose 20%. Then that's when you're like, God damn, like I had it right there, and it can happen like that. So, but it's still bullish. I mean, it's still riding a trend line. It just needs to start to like build a bid on 6, start to get knocked down on 7, have some more information come out, have the CEO say that, oh, this is about to happen, and then there will be a buying spree again. WGS. Pullback after a very strong day. This is a very, very strong level of resistance. Clearly, it wants to come up here and then it just gets rejected. Perfect pullback to this middle band. Your technicals look great. I don't see any problem with them. Huge volume day yesterday. Volume kind of died today. This one seems to really want to swing in this channel. About 30 cents to 52, and I remember my friend said it just cannot seem to hold above 2, and that was like back here. So yeah, it really can't hold above 2, 5.2. Unreal. But if you do get a break above 5.2, it's going to be a sign of extreme bullishness. So set your alert at like 5.4, 5.5, and if it's happening with volume close to the end of the day, it might be breaking out for real. CISO. I got to speed this up. I keep talking for way too long. CISO, wild day aftermarket yesterday, ran 200%. Obviously, that was going to be sold off today. People probably weren't even paying attention to it, and it happened. So, you know, they wake up this morning, they see they're up 160% or whatever it was. It's obviously going to get tanked down. Don't ever get sucked into that thinking, oh my God, it's up 250%. It might even go higher. No, it was coming up to this middle band, which is where I think JAGX is going to return to. Same idea. They always tend to respect this middle band, like an abused son to his father. And his father basically hits him with beer bottles every time that he talks or even makes a sound. That's how much respect that young child is going to have for that man, because he doesn't want to die from a head hemorrhage because of a bottle getting struck over his skull. So that's that's just something to understand. If you're up 160% in an overnight trade, say good night, goodbye, nice to know you. My Lord will be with you. He will bless all around you. Have peace, have good mercy, and all goodwill towards men. And then you leave. JPEX. Just throwing, sometimes I just try and throw some out there for you to add to your watch list. They're not always going to be like the greatest stocks of all time, but this one could be waking up. I mean, it's going through moves recently, 1 to 16, or actually 1 to 18. That's 80% move. It seems like it's trying to bottom out here. Now it's looking like it wants to start to get bullish. Your technicals look pretty good. Your volume just has to stay up. You're not getting a tremendous amount of volume at all, but if you do start to get, I think it's probably still a shell now. They're probably trying to figure out another merger after VMOS failed. I don't know exactly where they're at in the process. If you do know, let me know. If there's any news that are in the pipeline or catalysts that are coming up, please hit the comments and let me know what's going on with JPEX. I'm just revisiting it, seeing that the volume has been up a little bit, seeing that it has been able to get some people some money recently. What's going on with that one? TTCM, I was called a ding-dong dungle bunker, a little Smith wagon flunkster, a little fling-dong bing-bonker. But I was right. And this was back here when I'm like, oh, why is this up so much? It's like, blah, 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 like, please sell it, please sell it. People didn't listen. I was, like I said, they called me every name in the book. Now it tanks back down. Where to this middle band? Thank you, little sir. Thank you, my little sir. Thank you, my little son. Thank you, my young child. Thank you, my older son. Again, this is where I get delirious, and I had a good day today, so bing, bang, bop. I got a big announcement to make on Friday. We're going to war. I don't care what it takes. I don't care if they try and bury me. I don't care if they kill me. I'm not letting the truth not be told. That's for on Friday. Let me not get in it. But if you're still watching this and you're one of my subscribers that watches the entire video, yeah, we got to go to war. Like, it's just time for war. There's nothing really I can do about it. It's just part of like being a man and just like stepping up to the plate, telling the truth, you know, having an opinion, having the right to have free speech, going against the man, going against the con man, the scumbag, the scammer. That's what this page is about, and I will not falter. I will not fall back. I will not be deterred. I will not be afraid. I will go forever and ever into the heavens above me, and I will never give up. So just stay tuned for that. That's when I'll have a nice little pre-opening video, I think, and it'll be enjoyable thoroughly. But TTCM is starting. That was a little bit of a tangent. I apologize, especially for people in TTCM that don't know who I am. You're probably like, this guy's a cuckoo loon, but whatever, stick with me, keep watching, because I don't always act this crazy on every review. But either way, you know, you were just, even so, still, your technicals, especially your MACD, still looks kind of hot, which is odd. You want it to stay in this hot zone. You need this to be a recovery. You can't just have this be like some bullshit, pop above this band, and then it pulls back even further. You don't want that in any way, shape, or form. You want it to steady here, and you want it to come up and flag. I mean, if you're buying at 7, you're selling 10. That's a great gain. That's what, 30, 40%. Okay, you know, you take that to the bank and you give it to the teller and you say, hey, would you please deposit this into my bank account so that I can use it for breads and cookies and cakes and cheeses and eggs for my family that I must feed. And instead of just holding paper games and not succeeding in any way, shape, or form, because it comes back to your break even and then you want to murk yourself and kill your whole family. And we don't want that. You don't want to murk your whole family. MYO. This is too long. This is going to take a week to upload. Jesus Christ. You know, you got this breakdown. This is why I always say, you know, make sure that you're paying attention to where this middle orange band is, because if it starts to show weakness and it loses, like obviously was trying to ride above it for a while. That's why I was bullish on it. It had a lot of interest on the boards. But then they just said, no. There's too many noobs in this. We're just going to tank it on them, make them sell here. And then we're going to send it back to this middle orange band just to test it. And then we're going to probably start a downtrend into hell. So either way, just remember, you know, let's say you are bagged from here and you do get a pop back up to your average. Just take it. Take it, meaning take the break even. Don't sit there and have a chance to take break even and then have it tank even more, and then all of a sudden you're down way more. Like, if you've made a bad trade, even if you make the bad trade, you go down more than 10%, which I always say cut at 10%. You go more down more than that, and then it comes back to your average and you don't sell, then you just stop. Just stop trading. Go check in a mental hospital, ask for Lexapro, sleep for 16 hours a day, and lap milk with your tongue the other 4 hours. Because you obviously have to sleep for 4 hours. Hopefully my math added up. My brain doesn't work. I can't even think about what I'm saying at the moment. XALL. Flagging, 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 flagging. Don't like it, closing, flagging, flagging. Don't like it, closing under the orange line. Might come back down all the way down to previous resistance, which now is support. Your MACD's turning down, though, no. Your RSI is turning up. I don't really like that, no. This doesn't look great because there is no volume, no. Okay. That's enough. Should I just say frick the rest of this list and just go murk myself, drown myself in my bathtub and throw in something that's electric until I fry to death? I think so, but realistically, everything that I just said in that gorgeous, gorgeous song that should be bellowed from the choirs of the New York Ensemble. But either way, this thing is flagging. Look for a break above previous, or this, not all-time high, but probably 52-week high right here, right there. You don't want to stay below this mid-orange band for too long, because if you do, you might be completely cratering, and that's not good. Isn't that right? Yeah, no, it's not. I'll be the first one to tell you, because I've been in a few craters in my life, and not fun. Not fun at all. You're pretty much cut off from everybody on planet Earth, and you're a lonely son of a bitch. And you have thoughts. Thoughts that you don't want to repeat out loud to the public. Thoughts that you want to keep to yourself. So HUBC is one that's causing that for people now. The pump comes in strong, up near $3. You know, I remember seeing this, and I did a little bit of DD into it, and I'm just like, well, first of all, no, this is too overbought, one. And then I see Israeli investment firm like is involved with it thoroughly, even publicizing it, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, no, I might as well invest in a Nigerian rock company. I might as well invest in a Nigerian energy drink. Okay, like this, what? No. So you got to know the players behind it, because those are the ones that really matter. Israel is like maybe the most top fraud nation on earth, next to Nigeria. So when you see those two names involved with any stock, I guarantee it's a scam almost 100% of the time. Every one that I've been involved with, or every one I've ever seen, was pretty much the biggest scam of all time. So, you know, take it for what it's worth, but don't get sucked into the pump having people tell you, oh, this is like, it's going to $30, it's going to $15. No, dude, no. The more you listen to that, and the more you listen to people keep your eye on the prize when you should be selling, that's why people hate me, is because I tell them to sell, and then they don't, because they listen to the pumpers. They want to feel good. Then they get dumped to the core of the earth to live with the devil and all of his demons, and then what happens? They come up, ended up crying to me when they don't. It's not my fault. I'm not the Lord thy God. I can't tell you where to go with your life. I can't direct thy steps. Okay, you must do that, and with the help from Jesus Christ, your Savior and Lord. And it's not my fault that you've turned your back on him, and you want to follow the pumpers into the bottom of the ocean to live with those fish that have electricity on their snouts. Okay, SMX. This thing is getting pummeled. Keep your eye on it. Watch for a leveling out. This is super thin stock. Has to do with Bitcoin, at least I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Let me know what it is. All I know is somebody said watch it from up here, and then I've been watching it, and it's just been tanking ever since. But it could be entirely oversold right now, and I think that even if it just No. Don't do that again. Technology. What are you going to do with it? It never knows what you're trying to do. It's never like, it doesn't have the same IQ as me. I'm not sure about you guys, but computers they're just not they're just not all there, you know. But either way, this thing looks like it could pop from here. Just put it on your watch list and keep an eye on it. Nothing really else to say about it realistically. TENX, what did that do in the past couple of days? Oh, nice. 13% pop today. Ooh, looks good. Looks good. Now you got to get above this line. You got to get above 68. You got to start breaking out, start hitting into 76 to get like this breakout situation where you could fill this gap eventually at 220. Okay, that looks pretty good. Your technicals look obviously really, really good. I think those are some of the best looking technicals I've seen in a long time. If they did have a hole, I would insert myself. Now remember, this is a kid show and I can't say things of that nature, so let me be gone with my blasphemy, with my over assumptions of lunacy. Now I don't even know what I'm speaking, and just words are mumble jumbling out of my mouth because my brain hurts. My brain hurts. I've been looking at charts for too long today. I've been literally like studying so much shit. So it's just a lot for me. But either way, 10X looks incredible. 10X looks incredible. 10X looks incredulous. Yo. Okay, let me try and calm down. So like whoever's watching this is like, okay, that might make sense. But either way, IBIO, this is trading in a channel here. So be careful with something like this. You know, if it's getting up here and it's selling off, you want to play that. Then it gets up here and it's following this upper line and it sells off and comes back down here. And then it comes all the way up to this line and then it sells off. And then it's coming all the way up to this line. Are they going to fake it out and act like it's going to come back down? I don't know. Your technicals aren't overbought. Your volume isn't very strong. I don't know. I think that I would still like go with this channel unless it really starts to break out and you draw a line basically from here and it starts to really hit above that on some wild ass news. I don't know. It's just dangerous to play the top of a channel. It could be a fourth top. And if it comes back down, it could be a fourth bottom. So just a very, very solid trading channel on IBIO. EMAN. Just a wild couple of days. I did say that it would probably have a blow off top to 246. Almost there. It did have a blow off top. Now I think you obviously have to cool off. I did show it to people when it was back here. That's the first time that I mentioned it on my page, and it just went on a rip ski. It just went on a bing bang bopper. And look at this. I mean, incredible. Just incredible. Great call by one of my friends. Just incredible. If this itches my face one more. God, this thing used to look like the Velma thing. It was like my ex-girlfriend's like costume that was like this big on me. Look how much it's been pulled out. God. And now it's just, the hair is like literally like, frick you. Like it's trying to itch me. But yeah, E-Man, I think that's all we get for this one, folks. Wait for a pullback to enter, even though very, 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 very good trade for some people that were smart. WSRC getting rejected at this middle band, but your technicals look really good. Your volume has been pretty steady, a little bit of a drop off today, but I do like it because it's considering making this a double bottom. Could even be, I don't even know if you want to call that a triple bottom, but either way, this thing definitely needs to get above this line. It needs to try and get back. If it does, it can climb back to 13, currently at 8. That is a good, and that might be over time. It might take a week or two or maybe less. But either way, you want to see this line get broken and start closing above it to continue an uptrend. EMED. I mean, I'm not going to say much about this other than the fact that it could be at another bottom. You're going to need it to form the other side of this W. Your first resistance is going to be a penny. If you break above that with volume, you could be in good shape. But either way, just not seeing much from this one here. I want to see confirmation of it start to get above this middle band. It tried to do it the other day, and it just completely got rejected and sent down 20%, which is not healthy looking to me. MWWC. This thing, it closed at 7. I mean, it had a blow off top today. Again, I told you in this, I said if you want to buy here, Great. I was actually looking for a little bit lower just to be safe. I don't like trading trips. I don't like chasing trips. So whatever, I missed it. But either way, when it did come back down here and started up again, I said, make sure it doesn't get a third day down here. It didn't. So you did, if you would have bought 6 at the end of the day, you would have been able to sell 8 today. And that's a nice little 30% pop. Now you're sitting back at 7. It might start to flag even more. It might be an extended flag. Or if it does start to get super bullish, it could start to break above 9, close above 9, and it could be the next leg. But I want to see some more consolidation. I want to see the bottom of this hit. So maybe the next buy-in would be 6 or 5 if you're lucky on an oversell. I would say 5 is a safer bet. But either way, you look for 5s now. After you sold 8, you get back in at 5. Then you hope for the breakout above 1. But it needs to consolidate a little bit more in this range. In my opinion, GVSI. I'm gonna tell you guys every day that I told you to sell at 3. Did I tell you that you should sell at 3? Because I think I remember doing that. I'm not sure though. Would you please leave it in the comments? Just make sure that I know and that I remember and that I'm not just making things up. That I did say sell 3. That I did say sell 3 back when it went current, because I knew that the legacy dumpers were going to dump, and then they did because I saw the volume on the ask and coming into the bid, and I said sell 3, sell 3. I don't know if you heard me say that before, but I did back then when this happened. I said sell right here, which happens to be 3. The price never even went above that at all. Ever since then, it's been a constant slide all the way down to a penny, folks. That's a massive loss from there. I think that's 66%. So if you would have listened to my call at 3, maybe you didn't hear me. Maybe you still don't know that I told you to sell at 3, but I did. And now it's at 1. So, now I'm saying maybe it's time to buy. Now, maybe I'm saying that the MACD is oversold, the RSI is oversold, maybe some volume is going to come in, maybe you're in good shape, but I'm not saying that 100% true. I'm not saying that that might be 100% true. I'm saying that you're on this previous level of support, so 1 might be the number. You do the DD, you take the educated guess yourself. But I would say that now, just like I said, sell 3, you might want to buy 1. Grav. Not really interested in that one. UPIN. UPIN starting to get volume. But it wants to break out. It wants to, but this is resistance and it keeps getting rejected there. But your technicals aren't overbought. Your volume is coming in. It did have a second good day of volume, but the news was yesterday. It's got to continue on an upwards trajectory. Hopefully, this was just profit taking, and you do get, it did close near the low of the day, which kind of sucks. And I'm not in love with that, but it is a very thin stock, so that could have been a paint down at the close. Who knows? It could have even been green before one sell by the end of the day. I wasn't watching the close. So either way, just watch for this break of 2.5 pretty much. You get above 2.5 with volume, you're in good shape. AMC. I told everyone to buy 4, and that did work out almost to a T. Why? Because this was the previous gap. You ride that along. It literally came to the bottom of that wick that it went reversed on that day, that green. So when I say something about a gap fill and it's been this pummeled down and you have a clear gap that it's trying to fill, it had already tried to fill it, but the market said no. This time the market said, we don't care what you say, retail. We're going to take it down there anyway. They came it down to pretty much the exact number, and now it's at 441, so you could be up solid percentage from where I told you to buy. But when I tell you to buy something, you almost must listen to when I tell you to sell it. If you think that the stock is going to go to 100,000 shares, go to the doctor, get some Lexapro. Call me. I'll give you my number. Leave it in the comments. Leave me your number. We'll talk on the phone. I'll get you a script of Xanax. Start to take it. See how you feel then. See if you're still thinking that this stock is going to go to 100,000. And if you are, I can't help you. You're going to need professional help. If you think that this stock is going to go to 100 trillion market cap, then just reevaluate basically everything. Go get a full checkup, check your heart, check your vitals, check your pulse, make sure you're still alive. You're not in la la land, you're not in banana land, you're not in heaven living with your Lord. Make sure that you're still breathing, basically, and you are an actual physical specimen and not one that is in the next realm. Because if you think that, that's a very good indicator that you might have left this earth earth and are in a different stratosphere. So what I'm saying is I called the bottom to a T right around 4. Now it's going to go up to 5, 6, somewhere in that range. That's where you sell. You take your 20%. Bing, bang, bop. See ya. Nice to know you. Clearly, this isn't going to $100, $100,000. It might not even. It can't even hold $10. Okay, so just play the ups and downs, play the swings. We're in a bear market. We're not in 2020, okay? This isn't like money printer go brrr days, okay? So get used to it. Get used to taking your singles and your doubles and not going for the home run every freaking time. Now, I like the look of this. INKW getting some action above this middle band, getting some volume, getting some good uptick on our technicals here, heating up. Like this one. Keep an eye on it. If you're in it, let me know what they're doing because it might have a chance to resurrect to 7.9. That's a very good ROI on the current price if you're able to get in at a good entry. IDVV. Damn, son, closing it to damn, man, good call, bust aheads. One of my subscribers, he was basically saying like this thing is going to break out today, and he was like at live texting me. He was like, "Yo, I should just hit the ask at 23, but I don't want to get FOMO." And I'm like, I was just sitting there thinking like, "Yeah, you shouldn't do that." And then within like a couple minutes, it was at 2.8, so that's a shame. But realistically, yeah, you like shouldn't do that. And then I told him, I'm like, listen, I never hesitate because I'm just a fucking, freaking action junkie. So, you know, I'm going to hit the ask for a tick. I'm not going to sit there and wait all day for a tick. But that's just me. I don't know. I'd rather hit the ask and watch the price move to try and like, especially into volume. But either way, I'm probably dumb for that. Sometimes I buy it just depends on the stock. But if the stock's moving, I don't mind hitting the ask and helping it move even further. But if it's like, if I'm just trying to accumulate shares, yeah, I'm doing that on the bid. So he did the right thing, but it obviously got away from him a little bit. And it's looking very good right now. You definitely want to see, though, I mean, your technicals look fine. It looks good. PSWW, this one's been gaining the past couple of days. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Had these good consolidation above this middle band. Technicals aren't overbought in any way, shape, or form. You could be coming up to this previous resistance of 15. You're currently at 1. That's 50% from here. I'm not saying it gets all the way there, but over time it could. I would say that or somewhere above 1, you know, you're still got some room to run, at least 20 to 30% in my opinion. The volume isn't super strong actually, so be wary of that. That's only 6K? No. Either way, volume's not super high. My brain is shutting off. I'm going to do one more here, HNRC. Because I haven't smoked cigs at all in a day, like not even a puff of nicotine. I'm trying for, maybe I would say this is my 700 billionth time trying to quit smoking. So I didn't even want to mention it, but that's why I'm a little bit loopy and I'm constantly thinking like, oh, as soon as I'm done this, I'm going to smoke a cig. But like, there's no cigs to be smoked and I want to like cry every time I think it, and it's every 15 seconds. So I'm battling through this on the verge of tears, on the verge of suicidal tendencies. But we push through it. We push through it. We keep going. HNRC finally had a pullback. If it broke out even further, I was going to literally have literal suicide tendencies because I had it at 11. I sold it at 18. It ran to 2.6 and I was like, say, dude, nah, say, yeah, oh, say, dude. But sometimes that happens. You're not always going to buy the bottom and sell the top, but I am looking to re-enter right around 15, which is what I always originally was looking to re-enter. If I can get back in there, this thing looks really, really pretty. It's not, I don't think it's like done yet. So watch this over the next couple of days. It's a thin stock, can move. Make sure you plan your entry. That's when you might want to grab on the bid, but make sure the bid is slightly above that middle orange band. It's currently at 13. I think it'll come up to 15 because that's the previous resistance that it broke to go that high. That's where I'm looking to rebuy. Technicals are still fine. Until tomorrow, I got to get Oh my God, I thought I wasn't recording. If that was the case, no more page. Would have shut it down for good. Probably would have moved to Idaho and started growing potatoes, which is what my ancestors did in Ireland, I'm sure, because I don't know what else you would do there. They definitely weren't, I mean, maybe they were stonemasons, neither here nor there. I need to go. My brain has already left. It's already checked in. It's already in bed, taking a nap. No cigs. Please, for the love of God, no cigs. Please, for the love of God, no cigs. Please, for the love of God, don't make me smoke no more cigs.